Yeah, I would make a Lakeside Park reference, but unfortunately my balls are still attached to my body and I can't go Getty Lehigh. So this is just the CHAIRQUISITION for Thimbleweed Park. It's developed by Terrible Toybox on a custom SDL C++ Squirrel engine that we're just going to call Unity just to piss people off, even though it is a custom engine. You can pick it up for around 20 of your local currency. What is it? In Thimbleweed Park, a dead body is the least of my problems. Switch between 5 playable characters to uncover the surreal secrets of this strange town and a modern mystery adventure game from the creators of Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion. The deeper you go, the weirder it gets. Full disclosure, these guys, lovely human beings. It's not Double Fine, but it's close enough, and they did send us some keys. So let's kick off the CHAIRQUISITION. 1 chair means that it's garbage. 2 chairs means meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. 4 chairs means 4 chairs means I'm vomiting pixels. Dear God. We also got our categories of doom mixed with the working shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So, Ben, do you bleed pixels?
Hey man, over here on the Ubuntu 1604 LTS. 8150, 980 powered, 4K displayed. Not really, it's UHD. It kind of ran good. No serious issues, nor should they be for something quite this simple. Very, very quick load times. Let's see. If I'm going to complain, the way this game prevents, because if you just run it in default, because this is 2017, everyone has at least 30 monitors. It doesn't lock your gerbil cursor, so it flies over there, and I have Skype open, and I almost accidentally called Mike Murderbeck, because he's a friend of mine, apparently. I don't know. He's on my Skype list. Who knows? The way it deals with it is you basically set a safe zone, safe area. It's kind of like a safe space, but more efficient. And then it's just a tiny little border around your 28-inch UHD monitor. So I can't ding it a chair for that since it's a workaround. And I know Pedro's going to complain something about some tearing, but I didn't experience it over here, so I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of the box.
Yeah, I gave this a whirl on the i7 6700K with the GTX 980 running Fedora 24, and the TV box, which is running Fedora 25 with the AMD A10 5800K and the GTX 750 Ti. No issues on either one, so I'm going to give it 4 cheers for that nonsense.
Oh yeah, there's tearing. There's a lot of tearing. If you're looking at the footage I captured earlier, there is tearing. There is noticeable tearing, especially when you hold down like the left mouse button to move really fast across the screen. It's noticeable in certain specific scenarios. But if I'll get to the tearing a bit more in a second, but if I'm playing a game in full screen and you don't lock the mouse cursor and I end up clicking on a YouTube video that I didn't really care to watch, you're going to get dinged a chair. And now let's get into the tearing. Why? If you want to limit FERPs, you can limit your FERPs, please do, but do it without V-syncing, at least, or, figure out how to sync to VBlank properly on Linux. Because I don't like tearing. I have taken many steps to ensure it doesn't happen, and I saw it. It was the very first thing I saw the moment I started moving in this game. Oh, great, horizontal tearing. Lovely. The only way I had to work around it was to disable the game's full screen option, use KWin to force the game into a 1080p quote-unquote full screen window, and disable unredirection in Compton so that I wouldn't see the tearing. Unfortunately, it still made it to the recording, because as I was watching the video, I noticed it, so sorry about that. And you get dinged another chair. That's 2 chairs.
So what you're saying is you're tearing me apart, Ron, and you're telling me with Zoe's glory. That is 3 chairs for Mixed Working. Up next is Shiny and Sounds, Ben. Mm-hmm. How did it particularly shine and sound with the pixels?
Well, one of the things that kind of made me laugh, I don't know what Pedro was experiencing. He wouldn't have experienced it if he was running a real desktop manager like XFC4, but, what are you going to do about that? It does, even by itself, kind of simulate screen tearing. When you first start the game, you're in a riverbed type area with the grass, and they're kind of doing the split pixel pieces. It was like, oh wait, because it kind of took me a minute that only those were doing that. Outside of that, I didn't have any big issues. It's old school. I mean, this is straight up big head hipster pixel. done right for a change. The voice acting, it's well done, minus Miss Dana Scully on a budget. Genuinely want to believe whoever did that character was being intentionally bad. I hope so. And, with the voice acting, when you first run into the clown, it's great. That just got me hooked right there because it is censored, and it is what I would imagine an episode of LGC Weekly would sound like if it was made for children. Also got a good laugh when I first used the phone because I don't know if the Googs know you straight up yoink the ring sound for the Google Voice. It with the shiny and the sounds, I mean, it looks legit. It's unapologetically old school. It's not like Double Fine where it's kind of, but then it's got the enhanced mode, and when you go back to the original mode, it's just a pixelated blob of mess. This is pixelated to hell and back, but it still looks right. It has that feel to it. I mean, they tried to nail that 90s adventure, and they did just that. I don't get to do this a lot for shiny and sounds, man. I mean, what they were trying to do, this is the first time I've seen it done right with 4 chairs.
Yeah, no, this definitely looks like a game of that vintage. We recently did the Maniac Mansion update, and they pretty much look identical, at least in my opinion. The voice acting is pretty good, though the one thing that bugs me is Sheriff Ned Flanders makes me want to choke a bitch. Dear God, every time he opens his mouth. I just want to stab someone. No real complaints about the aesthetic. I mean, it's designed to look like that, so I can't really complain. Oh, Hipster Pixel's done to death, because it's supposed to be a tribute to that style. And complete with the really, really low quality voice recording, where you can tell that this was being recorded on like a desktop mic in a room that was soundproofed with socks. So I'm gonna give it 3 chairs. It does what it's set out to do, and it does it relatively well. Good job.
Oh, yes, it does. They went full-on retro with this one. I'm not entirely sure the different levels of audio compression in the different characters was intentional. Maybe they did it to give that extra feel of old game, but that's definitely something I noticed. Now, one thing I very much appreciated was the 1x1 pixel specks of dust that you can collect in-game. That, too, was a good callback to the olden times when you needed pixel-perfect mouse skills to pick up certain items, which were very much essential to finish the game. So for me, it gets 3 chairs.
All right, well, that's 3 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Up next is the controls. Ven, did you have trouble pointing and clicking?
No, and on top of that, I mean, all of the commands are kind of sprinkled around your normal WASD area, so nice. Digging that. Outside of that, yeah, it is genuinely just point and click. You can't really cock that up unless you go out of your way. However, no reboundable controls in 2017. Yeah, it's going to get you next to chair, Brad. You could have got 4 right there, but you didn't. You fucked up the end game on that one, unfortunately, so you're back to 3.
Yeah, that's not that big a deal for me. I like the whole queer as however you pronounce ZXC. Someone sent me some hate mail with an audio clip of how you would do that. I thought it was a neat idea, and I tried using it, and then very, very quickly I just ended devolving to either right-clicking on the thing for the context-sensitive option, or just using the mouse because I'm lazy like that. And I was playing it on a couch, so. What do you want from me? The lack of escape button functionality is annoying as well, but it's not really enough to dig in a chair, so I'll give it 4.
Oh, it is enough to dig in a chair. Why do you hate this little nub at the top left of the keyboard? Why do you hate the escape key? That's standard expected behavior at this point. You hit the escape key, you get the main menu, you get to save, you get to do all the stuff. Why didn't you do that? Also, why do I need to edit a frickin' Unity-like prefs file, it's literally prefs.json, to change the hotkeys? Why do I need to edit your game's configs by hand to change something that is located on the left side of the keyboard, very close to where I use my mouse, which is very uncomfortable to do if you have the keyboard to the right of your mouse? So I would like an option to change those keys that didn't involve me going and mucking around with your config files.
It's also old school.
I was going to point out that the not being able to scroll through your inventory with the scroll wheel was kind of a dick move, but they kind of released a patch on April 4th to address that. I mean, that is functionality that should have been there from the start, but whatever. 2 chairs.
Well, that's 3 chairs for the controls. Let's wrap this up. Ven, did you have fun playing Thimbleweed Park?
I kind of did. I'm kind of started off in the wrong way because guess what? Hard mode in this game can go fuck right off. I tried it for that hot second till I realized I was knee deep in this river of nope. This game was smarter than me, so I switched back to casual. And what I found was a clicky adventure game. You've played it before, and you will play it again. But I'm happy to report that Thimbleweed Park, it's a proper adventure game. I don't mind it. Even where I'm at the 2-hour mark, I can already see how the storylines are starting to intermingle. They're coming together, and I'm having those, how's that going to work out moments every now and then. And for once, I'm interested to see how this plays out in casual mode again, because hard mode can eat a bag of dicks. I've seen some of the walkthroughs on that, and it's just nightmare fuel. I'm kind of digging how the flashbacks, they kind of put you in charge of each particular character, and that really breaks up the monotony of it, because you're like, you never know what you're going to get with this. That said, switching between the agents, your main 2, that can get a bit tedious. So like, it's fun to take trips to other people in different times too. Speaking of tedious, like most of these adventure games, slogging through the dialogue, yeah, that's always a little bit of a downer. It doesn't matter how great the story is. At a point, you're just like, shut the fuck up and let me know what I need to do next. But on the topic of that dialogue, this game is legit funny. Genuinely funny. Yeah, there's some cringe humor in there, but more often than not, the jokes manage to stick their landing. And yeah, it doesn't always blow through the fourth wall constantly. A lot of times it's just pounding on it really hard, making you think a bit and go, all right, cleverly done. Your puzzles, they are challenging without being fuck you hard. Again, in casual mode. If you want fuck you hard, put it on hard mode. It's brilliant. If you get through that without using a guide, FSM bless you. Overall, this is just well done. And it's clear that a lot of love went into the creation, and I'm definitely planning to put some more time in it. And that's a rare thing coming from me for an adventure game, because, this genre didn't necessarily die out. It's just computers became more capable and we were able to make better and different games. So it's kind of a dangerous thing to throw back to the whole recipe of the early 90s. But they did it. They did it right, and it worked out. So I'll give it 3.
Yeah, normally I don't really care for point-and-click adventure games, but this one is actually pretty good. Like Ven said, the writing is pretty sharp. I got some good laughs out of it. The gameplay is tolerable, and that's really all you can ask for when it comes to games like these. I'm about 4 hours into the game right now. I've gotten to the point where it's just like, God damn it, there's clearly something I'm missing. They tell you at the beginning, oh, there are no dead ends. Oh, well, really, game? Challenge accepted. I will miss all... If you watch my playthrough of Torment, I will miss all of the very, very important stuff that you need to progress the game. Just get all the minor stuff that it's like, oh yeah, these are optional if you want to make these puzzles easier. But the main thing always eludes me. But, the story is actually pretty good. I like the sort of Earthbound flashbacks where you actually get a chance to mess around and explore the game. And the storytelling really, really seems organic for something that is... For games that traditionally had, like, this is the way you need to experience this game, I never really felt like I was being railroaded too much, aside from the, oh, you need to go talk to this person for this next piece of evidence, or, oh, you need to go to the town because that's where the story happens, or here's the list of objectives. It feels natural. It feels good. I'm going to give it 3 cheers because... Very, very rarely do I find a point-and-click adventure game that I can actually tolerate, and this is definitely one of them. So good job, Ron Gilbert.
I guess it's a good thing that this is a subjective category because I didn't.
You're wrong.
Regardless of what I say, the moment I mention the score for this category, a lot of people are going to hate me But I'm nothing if not a glorified exercise in futility in relatively human form. When I play video games, I do so for the escapism. I do so to lose myself in a world where I don't get reminded of how much I suck as a human being. I do so to vicariously experience a story through the playable characters. I do so for far too many reasons for me to list, but I can give you a list of specific reasons why I don't play video games for. I don't do it to be reminded that I'm playing a video game constantly during the first 10 minutes of said game. I don't do it to have the characters, quote-unquote, ironically referring to my pastime as being inferior to doing basically anything else. I don't do it to test just how far Poe's law extends. I go into all video games with about as much of an open mind as I can, even though my opinion will inevitably be colored by my own previous experiences. There's just no avoiding that. I didn't like Thimbleweed Park because it managed to hit all the buttons necessary for me to call it a pretentious nostalgic cash grab made by developers too stuck in the glory days of their past, desperate to prove that they and their chosen genre are still relevant. One chair.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just give me a second. I kind of dozed off there. Let's see. One chair.
Yeah, after reading this, I've come to the realization that I would rather have my balls cut off by a giant crayfish than listen to another one of Pedro's rants. But that is 2 chairs for the fun category. Tallying all that up, and Thimbleweed Park gets the Strider. That's right, 2 chairs. So let's put some final thoughts on this and put a bow on it.
Yeah. Listen, there's like nostalgic cash grabs, and there's people that are like, hey man, I want to make one of these. I want to tell this story, and this is the way I want to tell the story. This is what we're dealing with here. This doesn't come across as pretentious. This doesn't come across as hipster. And you fucking well know if I even get a whiff of that shit, I will immediately call it out. This game is fun. It's interesting. It's got good writing, which is just something you don't see from Double Fine anymore, that they tried with whatever that last game, the 2-parter with Frodo in it. And the writer, it didn't land. This stuff lands. It's edgy. And, yeah, I say good on them. I wouldn't mind another one. And I'm definitely going to put some more time into it. And I'm not on any bandwagon because I was like, this game's great and everyone loves it. And I was like, kind of walked into this. I was like, I'm going to rip this one apart. And I find myself putting it down, walking away. So this game genuinely has done this. If you follow me on Steam, he was like, all right, I'm going to put it down. Like 4 minutes later, it's back open. I was like, I think I got an idea. I can figure this out. However, Pedro hates it.
Call me contrarian McDowner pants, if you will, but Thimbleweed Park failed to do what I need a video game to do, which is to not constantly remind me that I'm an under-accomplishing asshole on the internet playing a video game. On that note, let's never review Undertale.
It's funny, too, because all we do is remind Pedro that he's an under-accomplishing asshole on the internet playing video games. So maybe he just doesn't want it from the other side. Like I said before, this is a relatively entertaining point-and-click adventure game, which is more than I can say for most members of the genre. So I would definitely give this a recommend, even if you don't really like point-and-click adventure games. I think the sense of humor really and the writing really help you power through some of the more traditionally pointy-clicky parts. Plus, the notion that you can... There's nothing you can do to horribly fuck yourself over in this game means that you can actually play through this at a relatively easy pace and not get completely fucked.